In this video, we're going to talk about the order of operations. We have a graphic on the screen. The order of operations, most of us remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That's being used as a mnemonic to help us remember which things go first. So with please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, the first thing you do is parentheses and groupings. That can be brackets or parentheses or whatever. That all is done first. Secondly, you go and do exponents and or radicals. Those are second. The third thing you do is to multiply or divide, whichever comes first from left to right. So if division comes first, then that is what you do first. And lastly, you add or subtract, again, whichever comes first from left to right. Parentheses and groupings includes parentheses, brackets, or what I call squiggly brackets. I'm not really sure what the name of these brackets are, but I call them squiggly brackets. Those are included in parentheses and groupings. Items under the square root symbol are also included in parentheses and groupings. Simplifying the numerator or denominator first. Again, the top of a fraction is a grouping. The bottom of a fraction is a grouping. So you simplify those things first before moving forward. Secondly, exponents includes, the exponent applies to whatever it is directly next to. So negative 3 squared equals negative 3 negative sign times 3 times 3. Notice there's only one negative sign. It's the one that's out here in the front. 3 times 3, and that answer is negative 9. The exponent applies to the 3 only and not to the negative sign. Exponents also includes negative 3 squared. Notice now we have it in parentheses. So the negative 3 in its totality is what is being squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 equals a positive 9. The exponent applies to everything inside the parentheses. And radicals, we talked about the second step including radicals. Radicals includes anything under a radical symbol. Like the square root of 4 would be equal to 2. That would be done in the second step. In our third step, multiply or divide, whichever comes first, left to right. After everything else is done, then you can add or subtract, whichever comes first. You multiply or divide, do the division first if it's first, multiply first if that's first, and then after you've done everything else in the problem and all that's left is addition and subtraction, then you can add or subtract. Don't let your brain fool you and have you adding and subtracting too early in the process. It'll lead you to getting incorrect answers. Okay? So now let's do some practice. We have 8 times 2 squared plus 7 times 4 plus 1. Let's get us an ink color we can work with. First thing we should do is our parentheses. So our parentheses includes this area here. So 4 plus 1 gives us 5. It's in parentheses. We can keep it there if we like. Times 7. I'm working backwards just to be sure that we don't leave anything off. I'm a fan of going from line to line so that way you don't forget anything. Okay? Now that we've done the parentheses, we can do our exponent. Exponent is next. 2 squared. So we've got 8 times 4 plus 7 times 5. I'm going to go ahead and leave the parentheses off now because it's really only housing the number. There's nothing happening mathematically inside the parentheses. So now we're at multiply or divide. We have 8 times 4 and we have 7 times 5. 8 times 4 being 32 plus 7 times 5 being 35. Last step to do is to add everything together. 67 is our answer. Here's another practice problem. we have 2 squared times 20 over 4 minus 7 times 3 plus 55. Thinking about our parentheses, we've got, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So first is parentheses. We don't have any parentheses, so we don't have to do that. Exponents, we have an exponent here. 2 squared is 4. 4 times, I'm going to continue to write the rest of the problem so that we don't forget what's happening next. Plus 55. There we go. So we did our exponents. Multiply or divide from left to right. Multiply or divide. So, 4 times 20 over 4. One big problem. We can do 4 times 20 over 4. 20 over 4 is really division. So 4 times 20, if we were to do these two first, 4 times 20 is 80 over the 4. This is now division. Minus, I'm going to do 7 times 3 plus 55. Again, keep one thing at a time. 80 over 4 is 20. Minus 7 times 3 plus 55. The next, we're still multiplying here because we haven't used all the multiplication problems, haven't performed them all. So we have 20 minus 7 times 3 is 21 plus 55. Now we can add and subtract. Subtract comes first. 20 minus 21 is negative 1 plus 55. And our last step here is negative 1 plus 55 is 54. That is our answer to that problem. Have to be careful that we do things fully and in all the right steps. And it never hurts to write things over as you go down, just so you can keep track of what you're doing along the way. Okay? So I think we're about ready for a quiz. If you will go out from this video, you can go into the quiz, go open up the quiz and take that and see how well you do. All right, we'll see you in the next video. If this video has been helpful to you, then subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when new videos are posted. Also, visit us at 8minutemath.com where you can see our content and resources and courses, things that are available to you there. Lastly, follow us on Facebook at 8minutemathhelp.com. We look forward to seeing you there.